Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Shin Godzilla. No, wait, it's Shin 80. I'm glad that's all he ate. We get a 3-lander to kick things off. We've got a synthesizer along with 2 other artifacts and a rediscover. This is perfectly fine. Keep your pants on. Shin throws down a green overlord with impending. He wants his multicolor manas and he wants them now. We hit 3 mana, and you know what that means, some synthesizer action. Let's start slashing prices on Robot Overlords. On top we have a banner and a bell. We've got all the mana we need and our colors are set as well. Let's send the bell on down, but the banner is another Robot Overlord as well as Pump. They burn a doppelgang a bit early, I think. That could have been devastating later in the game if they make multiple copies of our factory outlet. We're going to drop a banner this turn. We'll get our first Robot Overlord, and we're happy if they want to trade blows as our men will be getting bigger and bigger with every turn. They do indeed send it, special delivery. We'll gladly accept and sign for the package. We got it, bro. It didn't get lost on the way. They play out a little bitty dragon. It's kind of cute, but we still want to smash it. 5 mana for a 3/3 flyer is a rather steep price to pay. Let's drop in our helm. It's a solid way of getting our Robot Overlord's extra pump thanks to the map tokens. They go for a bounce on our synthesizer, but we can't have that. Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. They can't take it apparently. Shin poops it and scoops it. GG's counterspell cheese. This is nutmeg, no wait, it's nutsack, no wait, it's rust egg. With that hot hand, you should be playing poker. We get a 3-lander with double bell, as well as a synthesizer and a rediscover. There's nothing to complain about here. Keep. They drop a vacuum down on us, and now we won't be able to play all our cards out from the grave. Someone has been victimized by Reanimator. Don't worry, bro, your secret is safe with me. I'm not telling anyone. We draw a Battlefront that we'll be able to play out on schedule. Let's drop the passage in and use it to fetch an island. For some reason they think the passage is coming back from the grave. Then we can use a bell to grab a 4th land. The synthesizer and the Battlefront will be getting played out on schedule without delay. They plop down a Windcrag Siege and name Jeskai for the little token. Impressive, bro. I don't know if we can handle a 1/1 token every turn. Time for the factory outlet to fire up the production lines. We have prices to slash and beatings to deliver. On top we have our haste giving siege and another synthesizer. The question is, which one do we want as part of the Battlefront package coming up on our next turn? Getting our haste and trample on our next turn sounds solid. Then we can drop our second factory later for more smash hits. We'll have the opponent dancing to the oldies in no time. They send in their 1/1, such power, bro. I only wish we could do the same. The time has come to fire off the Battlefront. We know we've got a siege coming, but let's see what else there is. Well, that's going to be the siege and a banner. We'll get 1 Robot Overlord, and we'll be able to return fire. Let's get in there. Direct from the factory outlet to the opponent's face. We cut out the middlemen. They hit our Robot Overlord with a removal and give us 2 artifacts. That's the wrong removal when playing against synthesizer decks. We could play out the second bell here, but let's draw with the first one. An extra card is more valuable to us right now. We're in trouble now. That's double the 1/1 men. Pretty soon it might even be 3. They come in for those sweet 1/1 men damages. All we can do is let ourselves get hit in the face. They fire off an ill-timed explosion. Ill-placed too, it probably happened in their pants. Now they're tapped and won't be able to snipe our next Robot Overlord. Let's use the bell to draw. Getting an untapped land means we can drop the second factory and a rediscover. We draw a snare and third factory, which is just fine too. This will be a second factory turn. It's going to be a buy one get one free sale with free delivery to the opponent's face. These prices won't last long, so get on the phone now. We'll throw down the bell too, for that extra love and pump. Since we know we have the mountain on top, we won't search for a land. The opponent says nice, but we all know that means I'm screwed. Free shipping on all Robot Overlords, so they arrive at face immediately. We're so nice. Let's use a map token they so kindly gave us to draw our mountain from the top, then we can play it out. And we might as well use the bell to draw. Now we can double hammer drop on our next turn. They send in all their men, but even a board wipe is pretty much useless at this point. With haste, all we have to do is generate Robot Overlords. They land a rediscover of their own. We can do that too, but we're going to go for more Robot Overlords instead. Let's throw down our snare and snipe their rediscover. We'll follow up with the helm, but they poop it and scoop it. Nice bro. Also GG's. This is Dr. Zero Man. No wait, it's Jeff Bezos man. That's gotta be it. We get a nice 3-lander with a factory, a helm, a rediscover and a battlefront to get us way ahead. All our colors are here too. Keep. Can you smell what Jeff is cooking? I heard him grunt, so I don't want to catch a whiff of anything. We draw a 4th land which guarantees an on-time battlefront. And that's what we like. They think about it, but don't send in their smelf. Jeff can keep it in his pants. The time has come to synthesize. On top we have a snare and a land. We don't really need the land at this point, but getting the snare, when we fire off the battlefront, would be nice. Let's move the land to the top. They throw down the Might Hydra that gets swole with every land that gets plopped down. That's all good and all, but on our turn it's going in a cage. Fire in the poop hole. On top we have double snare and a banner. We'll want at least one snare and we should take the banner as well. We'll tame their monster Hydra and generate a pair of Robot Overlords. They want to slap opponent cheek. Slap it real good. They come back with a green Overlord at full price. We only paid 4 and got a pair of 7/7s, but bro paid 5 and got something smaller. Discounts matter, boys. We draw a siege and suddenly we've reached lethality. Let's play out the helm then follow up with the siege. It's GG's, extra heavy on the cheese. Spicy cheese. This is Lord NASA. Bro, you spelled your name wrong. NASA engineers, am I right? The shuffler blesses us again with a beautiful 3-lander. We've got a synthesizer and a battlefront, both of which will come out on schedule. Keep. Our good lord is playing Rakdos, maybe he's an evil lord. We draw a 4th land, and suddenly we're kind of set on lands. We'll still play out the bell, but the question is, should we fetch out a 5th land? Let's pass on the land. I'm sure we'll draw more along the way. The evil lord plays out a Shark Brigade. No wait, it's a Shock Brigade. It's only a 1/3 with Mobilize 1 and Menace. We draw a 2nd battlefront. This game is going to be hilarious. Let's play out our factory and check out what we have on top. That's a pair of lands, and we'll send the raceway on down. We should hang on to the plains. That'll be 6 mana in total with what we have in hand. It's shocking, but the mid-evil lord plays out another Shock Brigade. The black portion of their deck is for removals, I'm guessing. They send it, and that's a whopping 2 damages. It makes my bones ache. Time for the first battlefront. We have another factory outlet and a pair of sieges. We'll take one for the hasty Robot Overlords. Trample is the cherry on top of this pain cake, and we're going to make them take a big old bite. On top we have a snare and a 3rd synthesizer. The factory outlets want to come out to play this time around. Let's get the snare as part of the 2nd battlefront package. These Robot Overlords only know how to go straight to the face. They come prepared with Brotherhood's End. That's unfortunate, but we're not out yet. They send it in special delivery. You know what they say, no pain, no gain. It's time for the 2nd round of blockbuster action. And we get another factory along with a pair of snares. That will do just fine. On top we have a pair of lands. Another land would be nice, but let's send both on down. We do have a banner still, and that can get us to 6. If the first one didn't work, go for a second one. This is where we should say nice. We can play out the banner first, then follow up with the synthesizer, and we'll be at the mercy of our draws. On the bright side, we just auto-lose if they have a 3rd Brotherhood's End. On top we have a passage and a battlefront. We'll send the passage to the bottom. They drop Achy Breaky Heart, the 5/5 monster with bad breath. Our Lord and Savior even pings himself for 1 in playing it out. Blocking doesn't even register in their mind. That's 6 toughness we don't have to punch through. They crack their men to drop in a rather small guy. I was expecting a Lord Voldemort maybe, but they squeeze out a rather small dude. It all comes down to this, a battlefront to win it or lose it all. It's a monster hit with a helm and a banner. Let's grab those and we can smash our good lord in the face. Note that we could have used the helm to make a 3rd Robot Overlord for an extra helping of beatings, but even with 2 they don't have enough defenses to stop death. Didn't they hit us with double Brotherhood's End? Those worked out well. Damages bro, damages. Also GG's extra cheese. This is Steve Harvey. He somehow finds time to fire up Arena and get in some games. We get another 3-lander with the amazing sequence of Synthesizer and Battlefront. These are auto keeps. We'll play out the Bell to ensure we get a 4th land. The Bells were supposed to help us out of Shuffler specials, but they've been great at getting us to Battlefront mana. Harvey Dent throws down a green Overlord with Impending. They want more and more mana. We'll sacrifice the Bell for that extra draw. The Bell doesn't ramp, but it has been excellent in games when we get it early. This is a Synthesizer turn. We can start turning out Robot Overlords at ridiculously low prices on our very next turn. On top we have a 3 steps ahead and another factory. With a Battlefront coming up for us on our next turn, we'll keep the instant on top. A Breaching Dragon Storm. Is Harvey Milk about to combo us out? They hit on an Encroaching Dragon Storm. There won't be any combo going off this turn. The time has come for the powerful Battlefront. We get a whopper of a hit. That's double Synthesizer and plenty of Robot Overlords. Hope you have a sweeper, bro. On top we have another Battlefront and a Rediscover. We'll put the Battlefront on top. They play out a Dragon's Balls, but what they really need are blockers. Like at least 2 of them, but preferably more. A better is going to hold down the fort, but that's just not enough. We'll make their blocker disappear before we send off this shipment of Robot Overlords, but they poop it and scoop it. Smell you later, bro. Also GG's. Why does it smell like hippo? Oh, hi Iron Stump. He wanted to be Iron Man, but he was cut off. We get a 3-lander, and although it's not amazing, it's still decent. We have a Synthesizer as well as support cards. Keep your pants on. Our stumpy friend lands a Vermin. They self-mill a pair of cards, and it looks like it's one of those Golgari decks that loves to play with its grave. Just don't fondle it in front of the camera, bro. This is a family show. We'll play out the Bell and get that all-important 4th land. Then we can sacrifice the Bell to draw it, and we won't miss out on our regular draws. They drop a Surveil land, and like what they have on top. It's time for our factory outlet to start up production. We're slashing prices and sending them out for 0 delivery fees. Opponents should be thrilled. On top we have a siege and a land. We'll send the land on down. The opponent plants a beanstalk and hopes it will grow. Maybe we'll chop it down before it goes anywhere. We could play out the second factory, but what if we play out the snare and snipe their beanstalk? Would it hurt them as much as it would help us? Let's do it. They drop a Terminator. That's not something we'll want to attack into. At least not anytime soon. We draw another Synthesizer, and once again the factories are flowing like wine down a drunk bro's throat. Let's play one out and ramp up Robot Overlord production. This is a battle of AI men, the Robot Overlords versus the Terminators. Can all machines get along? Well, fondle me this Batman. That's our 4th factory. Let's ship the passage on down. We'll hold our Robot Overlord back. A trade right now would not be a good trade. They throw down a second Terminator. This is really turning into a battle of Robot Overlords versus Skynet. They send it. Blocking now would be a comedy of errors. We'll eat these damages, eat them like a pie. As much as we'd love to throw down another factory, let's hold what we got and pass the turn. Skynet is turning out Terminators faster than we've been able to crank out Robot Overlords. They send in their Terminators, and once more we're about to eat some damages. It's not lethality level hits, but they're getting close. It's time for a surprise synthesizer. Don't you love it when an entire factory outlet pops up in your face? On top we have another 3 steps ahead, and a helm. We'll keep them both and in that order. Not that it matters much, this game is over. We'll play out the siege for the trample and extra damages. Get in there, Robot Overlords. It doesn't matter if we hit their Terminator for 5 because the opponent is going to an early grave. Skynet goes down. Someone order emergency PC parts, stat. Also GG's. This is Nightwaller. No wait, it's Nightwinger. Bro, tell me something we don't already know. We get a 4-lander to start this one. On the bright side we do have a battlefront and a siege. A good setup in case we can get some Robot Overlords with the battlefront. Keep your hopes up. They must be playing Demon Black. That's one of their signature cards. It's a nice ornament as it's going to sit there and do nothing. Imagine that, an annex. We could not have seen that coming. 2 damage at a time is still rather slow. We've got time. It's time for a siege. This will prepare us for the possibility of getting some of our AI men. They sniped the siege, but that's really not that big a deal. We have another. We draw a passage and we'll play it out. Let's try to reduce the number of lands that might be on top of our deck before we fire off the battlefront. Fire in their poop hole. Thanks, Taco Bell. We've got a fine selection of goodies on top, but no factory outlet. The snare and the rediscover should be just fine though. They took our siege and we'll return fire by taking their annex. We'll see which was more important. They try to disrupt our mana by sniping the monastery, but we've already got all our colors. And in the end, they helped us find a synthesizer. Thanks, bro. They go fetch a card and put it on top of their deck. Another annex most likely. Out of these 3, let's take the 3 steps ahead. That's a counter as well as draw or even an instant synthesizer. This turn we'll go ahead and pass it. We'll keep our 3 steps ahead at the ready in case we need it. Annex, of course. Let's swat it out of the air with our 3 steps ahead. And we have the mana for the draw option as well. They seem to have been caught by surprise. A counter out of a synthesizer deck? Whose idea is this? We must have made them mad. They send in their rickshaw, all wheels blazing. It's time to synthesize, boys. Our factory outlet can finally start turning out men at wholesale prices. Delivery is free for the first dozen AI men. On top we have a battlefront and a siege. We'll keep them both and in that order. A free siege along with more synthesizer triggers is what we want. They snipe our first Robot Overlord. There must have been a defect. No worries, we'll try again next turn. Poor Demon Black, they've got nothing to do. All those powerful cards, they normally play out just so much junk under certain circumstances. Let's Battlefront before we do anything else. Looks like we're taking a Snare and a Siege. Not the best one we've fired off, but far from a blank too. I picked the wrong thing, didn't I? That's my oopsie poopsie, but one we can fix on our next turn. Little Shelly comes down hoping she can make a difference, but this is game over. This time we're going to pick the right option, the one on the right. We'll follow up with the Helm for that additional Robot Overlord kick to the face. Let's get in there. Sometimes the best defense is to concede. GG's extra cheese. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.